Next, we consider continuous time to failure models. Failure time data may arise in component reliability, in time to death in survivor analysis, or in time to interrupt in software reliability. Thus, under this section, we will record time to some event. Failure time data are also known popularly as lifetime data. These models differ in the number of parameters, which reflect shape, location, or scale. And the different parameters enable those models to exhibit different hazard patterns. So we take the most simplest model and the most popular and the oldest model used as lifetime distribution, which is the exponential model. Exponential model is a two-parameter model where we have a scale parameter lambda and a location parameter mu. Therefore, mean for such a failure time distribution and standard deviation are represented as such after computation. We will note here that lambda represents number of failures per unit time and therefore is also popularly known as the rate parameter, lambda. Now for mu equal to 0, mean and standard deviation both are equal. And for mu equal to 0, the interpretation is failures can start any time after start of the test. That means any time after t equal to 0. However, if we retain mu here, that means the failures will be observed only after time mu is elapsed. So, MTTF, by definition, we work out for exponential distribution to be inverse of the hazard function, which is found to be constant, and this is an important and unique feature for this distribution, which also serves as a limiting feature of this distribution. This means the probability of a component's failure at the next instant of time, given that it has survived to the current time, does not depend on the component's age. Reliability can be computed as exponential model will poorly portray failure time of those components which will experience early failures or aging out or wear out failures. This is due to the technological life, right? So, conjugacy exists for exponential distribution through gamma distributions. Two-parameter gamma with a shape and a scale parameter is assumed for the parameter lambda, which will be regarded as the random variable to be considered for analysis here. Alpha, beta, both are non-negative such that expectation of lambda and variance of lambda. Let us assume that n conditionally independent component failure times follow the exponential distribution, one parameter with mu equal to 0. So, the likelihood can be paraphrased as for all I identical. The prior can be elicited through conjugacy. and the posterior being outcome of conjugacy gets an updated gamma distribution. So we see the total number of trials is added in the first parameter and the full lifetime of the recorded observations is added to the second parameter for the updation procedure. If both lambda and mu are unknown, then we can have a conjugate pair, but it is not a commonly identified form. Also, if lambda and mu are not correlated, then one can specify independent prior distributions for lambda and mu. So that support for each is positive. So we take an illustration. We assume that manufacturer of a projector lamp has claimed that users can expect about 1500 hours of projection time. Notice the word about. From each lamp under normal operating conditions. Normal operating conditions are the specified conditions for the component for which it is assumed to complete its mission time. To test this claim, the number of projection hours when each lamp burns out is recorded for 31 different projectors. So, if I assume that they have a constant hazard rate, then I can model the lamp failure times as exponential distribution with some unknown parameter, where parameter will be a random variable represented by gamma. Now, because MTTF is 1 upon lambda, I've covered it here, MTTF is 1 upon lambda, that we can work out through the formula that we have discussed in the initial part of the lecture. So, we work out MTTF to be inverse gamma, right? Because this is for this particular distribution equal to 1 by lambda. We know we have a prior elicitation for lambda. So, for inverse lambda, we have inverse gamma distribution as a proposed model. Now, if MTTF prior mean, it is saying about 1500 hours of projection time. So, if MTTF prior mean is taken as 1500 hours, then MTTF prior variance can be assumed arbitrarily. Now, since prior variance, if I take this to be a very large value, say this much, so that SD is 2000. What does it mean? It implies that large variance means I am covering a very wide interval under the PMF or PDF. So once that happens, I am covering a large variance. It means that I am reaching out to a larger interval on each side of the proposed mean, which in turn means that this is a diffused information, right? So it's a prior variance, a very large variance. Now, we know for inverse gamma distribution, the mean is represented by this, which we are proposing here to be, say, 1500 hours. And for inverse gamma, expression for variance is this. And for standard deviation, we can take a square root, and by moment matching, we can write the right hand side. Now, solving these two together, we have two unknowns and two equations we can solve it using simultaneous equation strategy and obtain the roots. Therefore, posterior for lambda comes out to be as above alpha plus n. So I will be adding to 31, n equal to 31. I will be adding 2.5 here, which I have obtained after my computation. And then I will be adding, if I assume that the total lifetime which is recorded for these 31 projectors, it is 17907 hours. If I assume this, that I recorded this, then I will add this value 17907 to the other parameter beta which we have calculated here. So the updated gamma, which is the posterior distribution for lambda, has the updated parameters as which comes out to be gamma distribution Now, failure time data indicate a rate which is much worse than the expected claim, as MTTF is much smaller than what has been claimed. So, this is our result. Now, we can model a distribution using Weibull failure times, for example. So, if I use a Weibull failure time, then this is a 3-parameter distribution. Now, see, I have increased the number of parameters. Why must I do that? As we increase number of parameters, we increase the model fit, or the model adequacy is closer. It's easy to model by giving the formula, the model, more flexibility by increasing number of parameters. However, we must bear in mind that a parsimonious model is always preferred. So, we must make trade-offs between selecting the model which is sufficiently simple to be readily interpretable, or selecting one which is sufficiently rich to capture essential feature of the model. So, this must be borne in mind. If we are increasing the parameters, we must be able to have a greater fit to the data. So, for the Weibull failure model, the PDF is specified as and we see that all the parameters are essentially on positive support, right? So, we write, and the lifetimes are of course greater than theta. Now, theta determines the location. Correspondingly, we can compute the hazard and the reliability through the formula which were discussed in the initial lecture. Then MTTF gets a complicated expression, but we can approximate it Now, we observe that this hazard function is a very flexible function because it will be decreasing for beta. It applies to components in the infant mortality phase of failure time distribution. Then hazard is increasing for beta greater than 1. This applies to the wear out phase or the aging part of the population. and beta equal to 1, then Webel reduces to the exponential case. Right? That we can check it out by substituting all the betas as 1 here. We get the same PDF as before in the earlier example. So, whereas exponential will support only constant hazard rate, Webel will support IFR, DFR as well as constant failure rate pattern. So, no natural conjugate prior will exist if both shape and scale parameter of Webel are assumed to be unknown. So, we will illustrate modeling the LCT projector lamp failure time data, which we had considered earlier for the exponential distribution, but with theta equal to 0 here, location equal to 0, so that the failure is allowed any time after 0, not after theta. So this restriction is removed. Now, the likelihood will be product of Webel with parameters lambda, beta. So likelihood will cover product of marginal distribution each following this Webel pattern for all the 31 components. Then we have prior. Through conjugacy, we will give two parameter gamma for lambda parameters. Similarly, a 2 parameter gamma for beta parameters, where the first alphas are shape and thetas are specifying the scale parameters. Now, we need to specify the hyperparameters. Earlier, we have used for lambda in the exponential example. So, we use the same prior. And for beta, we take a simple gamma prior. Presuming it is centered at 1, but it allows for either a decreasing or an increasing hazard function. Centered at 1 means beta equal to 1 means we have the exponential case, but we are saying that it will allow for IFR and DFR simultaneously. Now, how to check suitability of prior? We will plot the prior predictive, which means these, for both the exponential and Webel, right? To observe which is more closer, which is more spread out, or which is more concentrated. So, we are checking the suitability of priors now. So, what we need to choose is a compatible joint prior distribution for lambda and beta. We can assess this comparability or compatibility by inspecting this prior predictive distribution. To approximate it, we make draws from the model parameters, prior distribution, and then subsequently we will make draws from the data or the sampling distribution given the drawn model parameter values. So, for exponential lambda model, we will make gamma draws for lambda, and then we will make exponential lambda draws. And for Webel Webel lambda beta model, we will make draws from lambda beta prior, and then we will make Webel lambda beta draws. Right? So, through this, what we do is we can plot the draws that we have done randomly from these specified distributions. We can plot it through Excel, and then or some other software with which we are familiar. And then we see that Webel predictive will lie low like this. However, exponential predictive will be something like this, giving a high probability, a concentrated probability in the initial time span. So, to analyze the lamp failure data, we obtain MCMC draws from the distributions of lambda and beta, and then we can approximate MTTF is equal to lambda minus 1 by beta. This is the approximated form that we have. So we have made draws from lambda and beta and we have plotted it here. We have, just to check the suitability of the priors, we have drawn random samples from this and we have plotted here for Weibull and for exponential distribution. Now we evaluate with the alpha beta draws, whatever summarized we need to have. Now by inspecting posterior distribution of beta, it will be observed that there is a weak evidence for an increasing hazard function. And we can also compute the distribution of beta we can keep, and we can compute for beta greater than 1. We can find the probability and it comes out to be this. So posterior probability that beta is greater than 1 is higher. This way we can approximate posterior distribution of the reliability function RT over time t by making draws from lambda beta posterior distribution, and then we can directly evaluate this to obtain draws from RT posterior distribution. With this, observe that use of MCMC algorithm for implementing the Bayesian approach. MCMC means we are doing repeated trials, repeated observations, 10,000 draws, and then we average it out. So when we do that, when we are picking our random observations, we are using MCMC approach, and this approach to reliability makes it computationally feasible even for complicated expressions. So Bayesian offers an advantage in complex settings for practical implementation. What we must note finally is caution that if two MTTFs are equal, but with normal and say exponential failure distribution, then the reliability in case of exponential distribution is only about 74% with the same MTTF as compared to the normal failure distribution. How? See, normal failure distribution is symmetrical about its mean. So R at the MTTF, whatever it is, that fixed value, reliability at this fixed value, we are saying that because normal distribution is symmetrical about its mean, right? So we are saying, and for through MTTF, this is the expected value. So the mean, it is symmetrical. We know it will be 0.5. So where Z is a standard normal variate. And for exponential failure distributions, recognizing that theta is MTTF, then reliability of MTTF for the exponential distribution will come out to be of this form, which is actually 0.368. So this is how we realize that normal distribution with the same MTTF as exponential is about 74% of that for normal failure distribution. So we must remember that system MTTF denotes the average time to failure. It is neither the failure time that should be expected 50% of time, nor it is the guaranteed minimum time of the system failure. Thank you for listening out so patiently to me. Hope you have learned something today which is new, and you will practice and learn and see whether you can progress your knowledge from here. Thank you.